Good morning, everyone. I'm delighted to welcome you all to this significant event, a workshop on the National Credit Framework. At the outset, I welcome Dr. Nirmaljit Singh Kalsi, Chairman NCVET New Delhi, who joined online today and who was the key person to prepare this document on NCRF. I also welcome Professor C.C. Tripathi, Director NITA Bhopal, Professor Devi Prasad Mishra, Director NITA Kolkata, who are present with us online, and Professor Usha Natesan, Director NITA Chennai in absentia, and Professor Nagendra Rao from NITA Chennai. I also welcome all NITA faculty who joined online and offline with us. I especially welcome to our director, Dr. B.R. Gurjar, today, who was a key supporter of this workshop. Today, we embark on a journey to explore how this framework, that is NCRF, that plays a pivotal role in shaping our educational landscape, especially for the training programs provided by NITers. As you know, NCRF, that is National Credit Framework, serves as the backbone of our education system. It's not just a set of rules, it's a roadmap that guides us in understanding, qualifying, and recognizing the learning outcomes and achievements of students across various educational institutions. It's a catalyst for positive change. It brings transparency, flexibility, and standardization to the assessment of learning. The NCRF emphasizes on broad-based, multidisciplinary, holistic education, imaginative, and need-based curricular structure, encouraging creative combinations of subjects and disciplines, and provides for the assignment, accumulation, storage, transfer, and redemption of credits through academic bank of credits, that is ABC. The objectives of this workshop to get the insights of NCRF document and also to prepare a proposal that how our training programs of knitters can be framed so that we can creditize our training programs with the approval of NCVT, that is National Council for Vocational Education and Training, so that it can help many technical teachers to accumulate the credits in ABC and obtain the degree or other certificates according to the norms of NCRF. Now I request our director, Professor B.R. Gurjar, to welcome all the participants and address us. Sir.
Thank you, Professor Maitri. Honorable Dr. Nirmaljit Singh Ji Kalsi, Chairman of NCVT, to the event's chief guest, my fellow directors from all knitters, dear colleagues from all the knitters, welcome to this very important event, that is workshop on National Credit Framework. As Professor Maitri has already given you very brief account of this particular workshop, that it is so important in the context of our training programs and other programs which we deal with in National Institute of Technical Research Training and Research. And I recall one book like World is Flat. The technology is giving such a wonderful scenario for all kind of sectors of the society. So our education sector cannot be remain in isolation. Here also we can get many things in terms of technological interventions, and that is why this new education policy and national credit framework has given new path, new dream, new vision for this particular sector. Because if somebody is like have some problem and he or she wants to drop for certain period and again want to join a course, there was no kind of scheme in that sense. NCRF can give this kind of choice. So basically, the national credit framework gives us a lot of choice, and choice makes the life enriched in every sense. You can recall like when the command and control economy was there in our country, our in neighborhood only one telephone was there. Now you can see we have choice in the technology. Everyone has the mobile. Everyone has access to the knowledge domain, whatever kind of it is, right? So similarly, the national credit framework, if it provides the choice of taking optional subjects. So there is no silos of like arts, commerce, or science and those kind of things. Interdisciplinary things are coming in a big way. And for example, somebody has a skill, but he or she has not been educated formally. Then also, National Credit Framework gives us the opportunity to qualify them or honor them up to a particular level. So that is a big game changer, I would say. I won't say much words. I would rather expect to our chief guest Varjan. He will enlighten us with his knowledge about this particular domain of National Credit Framework, and other directors will also speak about this. But I again welcome you. This is a very important workshop, and it will lay a pathway for us to go in that direction where we can map our training programs with the credits, and then it can go up to the diploma, degree, many things. And in the context of aspiration of deemed to be university, where we have received uh, this letter of intent, so this is much more important in that context. Thank you and welcome again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable remarks. You have rightly said that NEP 2020 and NCrF have given us to have the new choice, new vision, and new innovative program or new innovation in curricula. This workshop has become possible due to your consistent support and motivation, sir. I'm sure that after this workshop, with the help of all other knitters, we will be able to prepare a best proposal that how to map our training programs and how to creditize our training programs to be submitted to NCVET New Delhi. Now I request Professor C.C. Tripathi, Director NITAR Bhopal, to address us. Sir, first of all, I thank you to coordinate one workshop at New Delhi in collaboration with NCVET and MOE and AICT on NCrF, where I was also a participant. And that workshop only ignited us all to think about creditization of our training programs. Thank you, sir. Now I request you to please address us all.
Thank you, and good morning to all. I express my sincere thanks to Professor Gujjar and his team for taking initiatives to organize this one-day workshop on National Credit Framework. We are all pleased to have the Nirmaljeet Singh Kalsi ji, who is the key person who has taken a lot of pain and initiatives to develop this National Credit Framework, which is going to be a game changer in the country of higher education in India in particular. It's really very fortunate that we all are here. All the faculty members from the National Institute of Technical Teachers Training, Research, and other participants all across the country. I welcome you all for being with us in today morning to discuss how National Credit Framework is going to help the country and the aspire learners in particular. We all know that this was a great initiative, and this is going to transform the overall education system, and it is going to empower our youth and pave the way for the prosperous future of the country and society in general. We know that education has always been the cornerstone for progress and developments. It equips the individual with the knowledge, skills, values necessary for personal growth and contributes to the collective advancement of our society. However, our traditional education system has faced challenges in terms of the uniformity, flexibility, recognition of learning across the various platforms. Recognizing this needs for change, the Government of India has taken a significant step forward with the introduction of National Credit Framework, which we are going to have detailed discussion today. This framework aims to establish a standardized system of credits that will enable seamless mobility and transfer of educational qualification across the institutions, colleges, university, industries, or skilled partners. The National Credit Framework embodies the principle of equity, inclusivity, and accessibility to all. It will provide students increased flexibility in choosing their postgraduate degrees and undergraduate degree programs, pursuing their vocational trainings, and etc. With the credit-based approach, students will have the freedom to design their own educational journey by selecting modules and courses that align with their interest and career aspirations. Furthermore, the National Credit-Based Framework will facilitate the recognition of prior learning, as Madam said, regardless of the source or mode of education. This means the knowledge and skills acquired through formal education, informal learning, work experience, or even online courses will be acknowledged and counted towards the attainment of the qualification and recognition of their prior learning. This recognition of the prior learning will reduce the redundancy, encourage the lifelong learning, and enable individuals to enhance their employability and career prospects. In addition to benefiting the students, the National Credit Framework will also streamline their higher education system in India. It will establish a common language for credit transfer, making it easier for students to switch institutions or pursue interdisciplinary studies. This will encourage collaboration between the colleges, university, and foster the good relations between the research institutions, industry as well. Moreover, the National Credit Framework will enable institutions to focus on the outcome rather than just inputs. It will promote a competency-based approach, ensuring that the students acquire the necessary skills and knowledge required for the workforce. By aligning the educational programs with the industry requirement, the framework will bridge a gap between academia and employment, producing a skilled workforce that can contribute effectively to our national growth and the development of the country. If we see that how this our national credit framework is going to help the institutions and individually in the society. For ordinary learners, it increases the flexibility in terms of the learning path, as I discussed, in terms of the career aspirations they wish to choose. For gifted learners, the learners who are fast enough to learn the subjects, they can acquire the degree and skill sets in a small span of time by choosing this learner-centric path. For faculty and skilled trainers, the faculty of the institution like NITERS and other institutions in the country across the higher education system, they can design the value-added courses. Those courses can be offered in physical as well as in online mode, so that the students are benefited, and at the same time, faculty can also establish its own recognition all across the country, irrespective where they are serving. This is also going to increase a revenue model for the institution like us, NITER, and the other academic institutions in the country by way of offering the courses based on the National Credit Framework, which are more aligned to the industrial needs. So the faculty members who has developed the expertise in the technical skill sets, they can take the leverage of this National Credit Framework so as to design curriculums. It could be a curriculums of, let's say, a duration of 2 months, 8 weeks duration, and in terms outcome in the form of the 4 credits. So that if it is a industry-based courses, skill-based courses, the students at the end of first year, they can go for these courses, and they will be able to enable to get a certificate after the first year by learning a 40 credit course in after the first year course in any curriculum. It could be art, science, agriculture, all across, even social sciences. Similarly, the institution like us, including the educational institutions, if we happen to design vocational courses which are more industry friendly, which are more making our students easy to get industrial adaptability and jobs, and these courses could be offered at the end of second year, and the 8-week duration courses are 4 credits again enable the students to get the degree, advanced diploma degree in their programs what they are being learning. Similarly, institutions like NEETers, we also are required to convert our own all faculty development programs of 1 week durations in a aligned area of professional courses, so that our potential participants, faculty participants, also get benefited of accumulating these credits in terms of certificate or degree or diploma at the end. So we also need to realign our courses. Similarly, the needed, as we all know, that we have developed the consultancy expertise in the curriculum design all across from last 50, 60 years. Our skill set in curriculum design can also be useful for standardizing the curriculums being offered by the board of the apprentice and training all across the country. The board courses could be redesigned so as to make its a credit adaptability, so as to prepare the training which are being normally imparted in industry as a summer internship or the as apprenticeship, that can be also counted as a credit earned by the learners, and those credits can be recognized by the institutions either for vertical or for horizontal motive change in the curriculum are going for other courses. Similarly, the skilled workers are going to be benefited all with this by recognition of their prior learning and upgradation of educational qualification. Normally, skilled workers we have seen in society, they have a high level of skill, but they don't have any formal qualification or any formal degree, and leading to their slow progress in the academic or in their own personal development. Similarly, the industry can also design curriculums. We, the NEETer, can also help the industry design curriculums which can be converted into a certificate courses or which can be converted into diploma courses. If the students at the end of 1 year goes for those industrial internship and wish to leave the courses due to some personal reasons, and since these industry courses will make them more adaptable in the industrial jobs, and later on if a student decides to come and join, he or she can also do so. Similarly, these courses are going to help the society as well. Society in the end will be able to have the skilled manpower for all small jobs. It could be plumbing, or electrician, or welding, or even the whitewashing. The country is lacking a qualified standard job mechanics or the manpower. So all these benefits are going to take place as a result of the effective implementation of the National Credit Framework. And we all know the successful implementation of National Credit Framework requires the collective efforts from all stakeholders, institutions, universities, educators, employers, and students. We must collaborate to ensure its smooth execution. It's a crucial for educational institutions to align their curriculum and assessment method, because it's one of the main requirement that our credit framework the curriculum has to go through a proper assessment methods. Therefore, the credit-based systems, and we also need to ensure the transparency, consistency, and the quality in education and the delivery. The employers also needs to recognize the value and the qualification obtained through this framework, thereby providing ample opportunity for students to demonstrate their skills and contribute meaningful to the country and economy as in general. In conclusion, I will not take much time because we are having the expert in this subject, our main chief guest, Nirmaljeet Singh ji, Kalsi ji. We who happened to meet him personally there in Delhi also, and we like to listen him. And we from the NEETer will like to take this opportunity to design the curriculum so as to make an outcome-based education systems, also to meet the requirement of the National Credit Framework. And sir, we are always ready wherever you need our help in the implementation of the National this Credit Framework through the Ministry of Skill and Vocational Education Training and Entrepreneurship. So thank you, sir, and thank you all members and participants for giving me an opportunity to share my views on the National Credit Framework. Thank you once again to all.
Thank you so much, sir. You have rightly said that NCRF will be the game changer in education system. Of course, it focuses on outcome rather than input. We will focus on all points that you have mentioned, sir, in preparing the proposal. Now I request Professor Devi Prasad Mishra, Director NITER Kolkata, to give his valuable address and guide all of us to prepare the proposal. Mishra, sir, please.
सबको मेरा नमस्कार. Respected Professor Gujar and our chief guest from NCVRT and Professor Tripathi and also the director in charge of NITER Chennai and Professor Maitri, all my colleagues, also all my faculty members who have joined this important one-day workshop on NCRF. मैं आप लोगों को सबको बधाई देना चाहूँगा कि हम लोग ये जो यूनिवर्सिटी होने के लिए कागार पे है और ये हम लोगों के लिए एक उपलब्धियां माने जाएगा और हम लोग नई दिशा में जाएंगे और इनके लिए जो NEP 2020 के आया हुआ है ये एक क्रांतिकारी कदम है हम सब के लिए. हम लोग इसको धरातल में लाने के लिए पूरा कोशिश करें और we are all the basically teachers of teachers because we are trying to train the teachers and our role is very important. And when we talk about national credit framework, it is not only a game changer, but it is the necessity. Without that, we cannot implement the NEP 2020. It is a requirement. And unfortunately, as a leaders of the teachers, we could have done our accreditation much before. That is, I always tell the day I have joined, I'm talking about that. But unfortunately, now it is requirement. If we could have done that work, the thing, we could have been, the NITER family could have been a leader in that. But however, the NITER should give the way to the entire nation so far the technical teachers training is concerned. But unfortunately, we are not working for that. I must tell you as a director and also a part of the NITER family at this moment of time, I must also urge all of you, let us work, let us start today onwards. Past is past. Past, we should forget about the past. Let us think about the present. And when we talk about this, it is important that the education system can be improved only when we train the teachers properly. There is a lot of things I can talk, but due to the paucity of time, I will not dwell upon that, what I feel the NITER should do. I'm already talking in several forums, but that effects are not coming out. So that is very unfortunate. Anyway, so what I will talk about, the urgent need for all of us to roll out the credit, whatever the courses we are having, 5 days course. Let me tell you that with my experience as a director of this institute, as a teacher in the IIT Kanpur, this 5 days course, 5 days FTV is having no value to so far the teacher education is concerned. I must confess, and I have told also these things several times, right? It's just, time is very, very tiny and this is has to be designed properly. But however, we cannot change in a day. It has to be experimented. It has to be found out what is to be done. And that kind of things, we should, this workshop, as it is a all-nighter family, we should talk freely. We should work, we'll think we are having great minds, we'll have to wreck our minds and think about what new thing we can do. But at the same time, this is a running trend. You cannot really stop it and then change the things. The changes will occur only the things are moving, then only the change will occur. That is the things we need to do. But however, at the same time, urgent need, according to me, I am talking with my faculty members for quite some time and about this credit and creditization. According to me, we should work hard because we are really, not putting that much of effort. What is required? What is really required? We should not count on Sunday, Saturday, holidays. This is a very big problem. What we are finding, and nobody is having time. Now, if you don't have time, you are an academician, you are teachers of teachers. How that possible? It's not possible that you say that you don't have time, you are having other works, right? So therefore, it is important that we should work hard, we should work together, find out how we can impede the credit framework, keeping the outcome-based education, what we are talking, we are giving lectures and other things. But first we should start doing in our own institute. Unless you are implementing it and experimenting it, find out, we don't have right to talk about it. Just copying, just taking some ideas from the Western and then talk about it is having no value. Unfortunately, not much research has been done on this. Hey, what is working in this output education? What is this, technique, whatever available? Like Bloom taxonomy, how far it is good, whether it is applicable in this our country, what is the psychology of our teachers, whether they are teachers, whether they are many. We don't have anything. We just talk big. We just some jargons talking about. No, it is the requirement to work hard, to do research, educational research. For example, I have started giving some money to people to do educational research. Educational research is very important. And so also, when we talk about vocational and skill education, sometimes I laugh at myself. Hey, why? Engineering education cannot be having vocational, cannot be skill. Then what we are doing last 75 years? What we are doing? The independence, right? So therefore, the skill and vocational education is a part of engineering education. If we have failed, then means we are also responsible equally for that. And just to talk about it, terminologies, what is the meaning? Now, these courses, when people are talking about technical teachers training in industry. Now, I'll tell you, which industry is ready to do that? Recently, after working hard, I could manage to do, training. And how many people will come? Very few. So what I'm saying, the reality, one has to look at it. What I'm saying, one has to tell the spade is a spade, truth is a truth. Unfortunately, in this country now, the teachers or the academic leaders, they are not talking about truth. And truth is bitter. So the reality one has to do, and one has to also judge. At the same time, what I would say that it is important for us to look at what are the credit and how we'll do, why we are doing, what are the things, what are the lacunas, what are the problems associated, if we'll do, what will happen. All these questions, fundamental questions, is to be asked. Because people who are framed, they might have something in mind. But as we are implementing, as we are doing, as we are having experience of 60 years, the all-nighters is 60 years old on an average. But what experience we are having? We are talking about curriculum. Curriculum design. What is we need to do? What are the things are going wrong? How it is not implemented? What are the data? What are those things? When I ask people, people are not having and we are doing for last 60 years, and we don't have data, we don't have solution, we don't have this thing. I'm really amazed. What do we do? I'm like, if I'll tell, it will be a lot of people will be unhappy with me because I tell the truth. Where is that? Just to look at AICT has done and something, that is not the curriculum development. That is not the research. That is not the thing. I'll tell you, I'll be happy if some of you could come up with ideas. Look, this is the things what we need to do. And these are the things which are not implementable. So therefore, it is this WhatsApp. What I would suggest, I should request humbly, request all of you with the folded hand that look, we should not do a, just WhatsApp and have a report and then say that we are doing great and good. It is the thing that will work. Now, for WhatsApp, what I would suggest that I have already talked with several times, let me repeat. WhatsApp cannot be done that way. WhatsApp has to be done, the work has to be distributed among the people. They will study, they will do, and then they will come together and do the work, and then they will also chart out what is the plan of action within this thing. So then only, and some work has to be done. In this country, WhatsApp is done as a seminar. That is not a WhatsApp. I have told several times, kind of things. WhatsApp means working together, and the members should be expert. The work has to be distributed. There should be some objective. There should be some, something to be come out of that. Again, some more work has to be done. According to me, then only something will come out. Otherwise, it's just a, have some photo or something, and then some report, and it is having no value. I mean, I've seen that this is going on. And therefore, my request to all of you, let us do this workshop and let us come out with the things what really will be and what we are going to do, let's say within 2 months, 1 month, 1 year, that plan of action should be charted out. Then only we can do some meaningful, useful, purposeful thing for our nation, which is at a very critical juncture. According to me, भारत को एक बलशाली, वैभवशाली, वित्तशाली, ऐश्वर्यशाली देश बनाने के लिए हम लोगों का भूमिका बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है। और ये देश कोई बना सकता है, वो है शिक्षक, और हम लोग शिक्षक का शिक्षक है। तो इसीलिए शिक्षक का शिक्षक जो होता है, उनके अंदर आचार रहना बहुत जरूरी है। अनाचार नहीं चलेगा, दुराचार नहीं चलेगा, और वो संघबद्ध होके, प्रतिबद्ध होके ये चीज को करेंगे तो हम जरूर सफल हो पाएंगे, इसमें कोई गुंजाइश नहीं है। लेकिन दुखद विषय, हम लोग अपने जो कर्तव्य बढ़ा चढ़ा के और काम को भी बढ़ा चढ़ा के बोलते हैं, बताते हैं, और सही ढंग से नहीं कर पाते। मैं जो मेरे अनुभव के साथ देखा हूं, और मैं सत्य बोलता हूं, सत्य के साथ रहता हूं, तो इसीलिए मैं कहने के लिए ये स्पर्धा रखता हूं। तो मैं आप लोगों का आग्रह करूंगा, ये हमारे लिए सुनहरा मौका है। हमारे पास जो अभी जो नई चीज आई है, जो हमारे लिए एक सुनहरा अवसर और एक सुवर्ण को दे रहा है, वो है यूनिवर्सिटी, जो डीम टू बी यूनिवर्सिटी। वो हम एक जो कि रास्ता, हमको नया रास्ता, नया राह मिला है, जो कि हम ये भारत को बनाने के लिए अपने जीवन को उत्सर्ग करें और कर सकते हैं। ये नहीं कि हम नहीं कर सकते। हमारे अंदर में देखा हूं, बहुत सारे लोगों के अंदर बहुत हुनर है, लेकिन वो हुनर बहुत छोटे छोटे चीज के लिए, अपने स्वार्थ के लिए लगाते हैं, देश के लिए, समाज के लिए नहीं लगाते हैं ज्यादातर। ये दुखद विषय है। तो इसीलिए मैं आप लोग आग्रह करूंगा, अनुरोध भी करूंगा कि ये वर्कशॉप माध्यम से हम एक नई ऊर्जा के साथ, नई जो भावना के साथ हमारे जो अभी चुनौती है उनको आगे करें, और जितना भी शिक्षक, टेक्निकल टीचर्स है, we should give them the way to contribute for the renaissance of great Bharat. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Sabko Namaskar. Dhanyavad.
Thank you so much, sir, for your address. Surely it is the need of the hour, and really we have to work hard. And you have rightly said that workshop is not just like a seminar. So what we have decided, sir, that in this 2 days workshop, we will do some homework, and afterwards we will communicate with all the faculty members as well as the directors of other NEETers, so that we can get some suggestions, and again we can do the final workshop to prepare the final proposal. And if this NEETer training programs, if we can provide the credit-based training programs to the technical teachers, then, and if it is acceptable, these credits are acceptable in Pan India, then I'm sure that all the technical teachers will be beneficial for that. Thank you so much, sir, again. Now, from NITER Chennai, since Madam Usha Nateshan informed that she will not be able to be present due to some official reason. So on behalf of her, Professor Nagendra Rao will address. But I thank you, Madam, in absentia, that you nominated 2 faculty members from NITER Chennai. They are with us in Chandigarh in preparing the proposal, Dr. Janardhan and Dr. Giridharan. Now I request Professor Nagendra Rao for his address. Sir.
Thank you, Professor Maitreyi. The chief guest of this workshop, Dr. Kalsi ji, Professor Gurjar, the Director Chandigarh, Professor Tripathi, Director Bhopal, and Professor Mishra ji, Director Kolkata, and all my colleagues from NITER family. Good morning to all of you. It is really a wonderful job that we are moving towards the need of our national credit framework. So far, we heard about this in vocational education only, and particularly in the non-formal education sector. And now it is being thought of bringing it into the formal education. Fine. And my earlier speakers, they talked loud about the various advantages, the benefits of this type of framework, everything being taken very well. But at the same time, certain questions we need to answer. What all we have seen or heard so far are all with respect to certain degrees, PG programs, certificates, which are all having some predefined curriculum, pre-structured curriculum, predefined objectives. But when it comes to training, it is a totally new idea. We do provide the training based upon the need of the competencies in order to make the teachers to perform well in their profession. So there is a huge difference between these two things, the normal education sector and the training sector. So this is the one thing I strongly feel that to be deliberated largely, and it is worth spending long time. It could be any number of sittings, but it is still worth, I feel, unless we are clear in our minds what exactly we want. What exactly? It is not simply giving the credits based on the hours. Should it be linked with the competency? If so, what is the type of competency? When I talk about the competency, immediate point that strikes our mind is in which area. That means we should also be certain about the thrust areas in which the competency have to be developed. It is not only the competency, we should also talk about the level of competency. Then another important and complex task that we are having is vestibuling. In the normal course of education, there is nothing like vestibuling, but in the training aspect, the vestibuling is very important. So how do we vestibule this? So perhaps in the process of vestibuling it, we may not be considering certain aspects like entry behavior, those things. And this way, the entire process is really a complex. And our training programs, as somebody was thinking, was talking, 5 years training program, maybe a tiny aspect. Yes, sir, I do agree. But when you think in terms of degrees, PGs and PhDs, but it is exceptionally huge when we think in terms of competency enhancement. That's how the trainings are defined. The trainings should never be taken at par with the regular education, the systems. Let us be clear about it. Never compare our trainings with that of the programs offered in the regular educational institutions. That makes NITTR to stand alone and unique. This will be understood by only those people who have been working here for a few decades. And similarly, it's not that our community do not know what is a workshop. If I say that workshop is not that this, it is simply insulting the entire community. Thing is a workshop or a seminar, we need to have predefined, predetermined goals, objectives, and outcomes. At the end of the day, what defines success is the achievement. If we are able to achieve the predetermined objects or outcomes by whatever the name you call workshop or seminar, we are successful. The program is successful. So friends, coming back to the great framework, I request all the participants to kindly spend more time, have larger deliberations, even it consumes time, about the methodologies, modalities, how to go about. Kindly do not jump onto the idea that so many hours is one credit. This simple equation will not work for our training. So we have to, I hope you remember similar task we have done during, if I remember correct, early 2000s. All the NITTs were involved, but at that time, it was for vocational education. But which, of course, we have prepared the curriculum, we have developed the great frameworks, but we didn't actually implement because that was not our cup of tea. And now, today, we are talking in terms of our own training programs. We need to be doubly cautious. We need to be more thoughtful when we are going to formulate these things. So the best way, I think, is all of us sit together, look into the various curriculum, extract the competencies, and classify the categorize the competencies, and give the weightages. So the credits, I really wonder Should it be fixed based on only instructional hours, or should it be based on the outcomes achieved? This is another thing we need to look into it. So far, the regular practice is the credits are given based on the hours of instruction. That is very simple equation. But I strongly feel such equations cannot be applied to our situations. All these things having told, said and done, if we are able to come out with a workable framework, I'm damn sure it will be hailed as the greatest job in the education sector. It can be even termed as a revolutionary change that we are bringing in. And all of you know that NITTR have been considered so far as a change agent. So let us re-establish ourselves by demonstrating our skills of bringing the changes into the system, which will benefit the entire nation, particularly the teaching community. I understand all our efforts, whether we are going to be a deemed university or continue as a standard university, still our emphasis will be on teacher education and teacher. So this is another. So please look at the functionalities, trust areas, competencies, levels, vestibule. These are the certain aspects that can go into the deliberations. So I don't want to take much of your time. So once again, I congratulate the entire team working for this noble task. Thank you. Thank you, Nanda.
Thank you so much, sir. We will definitely look upon the points that you have mentioned, like link of competencies, categories of competencies and their weightage, how it can be given. And we'll have the large deliberations during this workshop from, during the sessions. And I'm sure that we will meet the objectives after the workshop. Thank you so much, sir. Now, about our chief guest today, Dr. Nirmaljit Singh Kalsi, retired IAS. Dr. Nirmaljit Singh Kalsi is the chairperson, National Council of Vocational Education and Training, Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India. He is a member of Indian Administrative Service, 1984 batch, Punjab cadre. He superannuated in June 2019 as Additional Chief Secretary, Home Affairs and Justice, Government of Punjab, after 39 years of unblemished public service. He also served in the Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India for 7 years as Joint Secretary and Additional Secretary. He did his B in Electrical Engineering from University of Roorkee and MTech in Computer Technology from IIT Delhi in 1981, PhD from Thapar University, Patiala, and also he did advanced management programs from Herbert Kennedy School. Dr. Kalsi is presently working as chairperson, National Council for Vocational Education and Training. As I have said, the National Skilling Regulator since April 2021. His main responsibilities include rationalization and implementation of National Skill Qualification Framework, that is NSQF, and level descriptors, establishment and implementation of National Credit Framework jointly with UGC, AICT, and NCRT. As chairman of high-level committee, developed the National Credit Framework, enabling integration of academic and vocational and experiential learning, ensuring mobility between the two, multiple entry, multiple exit options leading to lifelong learning. He did many honorary assignments, social work, and services. Sir, we are eager to listen to you. I welcome you, sir, again and request to address all the faculty members of NITERS present here. Thank you, sir.
Professor Gurjar, Professor Tripathi, Professor Prasad, all colleagues attending the workshops, the faculty members. I'm extremely happy to be part of this workshop. It's a very important effort on part of NITER to have organized this workshop. I am very happy to listen to you people and to understand that you already have a fairly good and detailed knowledge about how the NCrF is working, what are the areas in NCrF which require special attention. NCrF is not a mathematical formula to be applied. It has something more than that. So what I'll try and do is, I'll try and see as to how all the courses you have can be creditized in the simplest possible manner. Now, even before I take on to NCrF, I would like to mention few important trends in education. The education is evolving, both the school education and higher education. And this is education 4.0. The philosophy has totally changed. The pedagogy, the pedagogy, and the cybergogy themes. Now, these bring the basic philosophy of education 4.0. Now, pedagogy is self-exploration, metacognition, self-determined efficacy beyond one's own expertise and discipline, non-teacher-centered learning approach, process-oriented learning, beyond content-oriented learning, and non-linear design of the programs. Pedagogy is when you learn from your peer group in a very collaborative manner. And cybergogy has three components: cognitive domains, emotional domains, and social domains. If I talk about education 4.0, it's innovation and skill-based education, which has focus on innovation-intensive approach, active and blended learning methods, cloud computing and smart technology, and skill development for advanced industries. Look at the entire education, skilling, workforce, and youth ecosystem. Population of 1.43 crores, 143 crores, with an average age of 29 years. A billion of this population is below the age of 35. And we are going to be youngest by way up to 2070. We'll be the youngest nation. There are 26.5 crore students in the school, 4.15 crore in the higher education. In the entire skilling ecosystem, people who have either gone out, who are working, or who are still part of the ecosystem, it's about 11 crores. The workforce, which we have collected from various databases of the government, numbering about 47 crores. However, the point of worry is the 26 crore people who are not in education, employment, or training. They are called NEET people. More than 1,100 universities, 43,000 plus affiliated colleges, and about 9,000 AICTE approved institutions, including about 4,000 polytechnics. And very importantly, The teachers in higher education is about 15.5 lakhs. Out of this, the number of teachers in the AICT approved institutions which you are dealing with would be about 1.5 lakhs. So that's the basics. Now, if I talk about the entire UG and PG, in UG, there are about 80% students. PG has about 19.5% students, and whereas PhD has only 0.5% students. And out of these 80% students in UG, there are only 10 courses which have more than, again, 80% of that 80%, whereas the remaining 190 courses in UG, it has only about 20% of the UG students. That's again a point of worry. If you look at the profile of the workforce, 30% is non-literate, 25% is only up to primary level, 18% is middle, 12% is secondary, and 6% is higher secondary. Thus, about 91% people are either higher secondary or below, and only 9% people are graduate, postgraduate, diploma holders or above. That is the situation today as far as the workforce is concerned. That means there is something drastically wrong with our education system. And even out of the people who are in the workforce, only less than 5% are formally skilled workers. Remaining may not be formally skilled. They may have learned on the job. Now, the good point is that about 50% of the total workforce has some kind of basic digital skills. Now, if I don't skill all these people, I lose about 2.3% of GDP every year. And if I skill them, the present rate of growth is 6.5%. I can easily reach 8.8% just by skilling these people and making them part of the entire economy. Now, as I understand, the National Institute of Teachers Training and Research, it has 4 institutions: Kolkata, Chandigarh, Bhopal, and Chennai, set up in 1965. Basically, to design programs for faculty and staff development in the technical education system. We also go for research and development, extension and consultancy services, also futuristic technologies for effective teaching learning systems. And very importantly, knitters, they look at integration of the world of work with technical education system. They also look at quality management systems and collaborate with national and international agencies. This is exactly the agenda what I'm looking for implementation of NEP and NCrF in the country. This is exactly, if I start writing the kind of institution which I need for implementation of both NEP and NCrF, this is the objective which I would write for doing that. And there is already an outstanding system which is there since 1965. And I think that nothing could be better than reorienting the system for taking up this huge challenge of not only training about 1.5 lakh teachers in the technical education system, but also train the teachers for our school education as well as for our higher education institutions. So that's extremely important. I'm told there are about 8 programs in regular mode and 5 programs in modular mode. And I can see the sort of programs which run across all disciplines, all technologies. Now, that's a very, very happy sign. And I think I see there's a lot of potential in knitters to be the institutes of national importance, especially with regard to the capacity building of teachers. This is the noblest cause, but one of the most difficult works to be undertaken. I'm also happy to note that there are about 190 short-term programs in the contact mode and 175 short-term programs in online mode. And many categories, under many categories, these programs are being conducted. General, skill-oriented, pedagogy, research-oriented, industry, advanced technologies, emerging areas, industry-supported, and even in STEM. And also there are PhD programs under various schemes. So this is again a very happy sign for me. I was also looking at some of your course design, that lecture, practicals, tutorials, creditization, marks for theory session, etc., etc. Now, having said that, let us understand the constructively disrupting education policies which the government has brought in. So you, all of you are well aware of NEP and NCrF, basically integrating credits from all kinds of learning, from school education, higher education, vocational education, and experiential learning. You have National Higher Education Qualification Framework, you have National Skill Qualification Framework, and you have National Curriculum Framework, which work in unison with NCrF and which creditize everything when they operate in unison with NCrF. Also, you are conducting 175 online programs. So online and digital learning, the blended learning with tools and technologies, that has become part and parcel of the recognized way of teaching and skilling. Education and skilling in emerging technology areas, that's another focus of the Honorable Prime Minister. And we all are working towards this. If India wants to be Vishwaguru in technology, we have to follow this path. And then we are also getting our workforce ready for future of work. Today, India has 60 sectors. And in all sectors, you need a design for future of work. Every sector needs to sit down, contemplate what is going to be the future of work and prepare the manpower for that. Now, all of you understand NCrF very clearly, provides for integration of credits from academic education, vocational education and training, and relevant experiential learning. Now, that's in short the NCrF. And it enables all kinds of possibilities. There are provisions. I'm not going to go into detail because all of you are aware of this, and most of the directors, they talked about all these provisions which are there. Looking at one single three-dimensional picture of NCrF, on the academic axis you can see there are 8 levels. On skill axis there are 8 levels, and on experiential learning there are different levels. That could be 4, it could be 5, depending upon the body which is dealing with it. Now, in the academic axis, you have level 1 to level 4 for school education, and level 4.5 to level 8 for higher education. Since you are also dealing with the diploma education, your entry level starts from level 3 and you take these students all the way up to level 8. So you have an overlapping role for level 3, 3.54 with the school education and also with the higher education. Similarly, if you look at skill education, now if somebody is purely going for skill education, he need not bother about the academic equivalence, and he can simply go for skill level 1, 2, 3, 4. He can go on if he completes the requisite numbers of the residency or the experience at a particular level. But if he wants the academic equivalence, then you can see on the right side, indicative entry criteria for skill levels have been prescribed. And this has been so prescribed, so done, because in India, the skilling has to be aspirational. If skilling is not aspirational, that means if somebody who's going for skilling is not able to join the mainstream education, he will not go for skilling. He'll try and go for any course in academics. It may not be useful at all. It may be just BA in history or BA in a subject field which he doesn't like. But then he would like to be called a graduate rather than a skilled person. So therefore, this has been brought in here, that academic equivalence between the skilling and the academics. It was very important. And therefore, this was made part of NEP as well as NCrF. So, as somebody was mentioning, it is not just the mathematical calculation, but for the basic ground rules, we presume 1200 hours of learning every year. This could be 1300 hours or even 1400 hours. And for 1200 hours, we say 40 credits. And per semester is 20 credits. Again, the credits may vary from 44 to 48 in some of the IITs. I have been part of the IIT system for the last 50 years. And I can tell you, when I joined IIT in 75, this credit system had started from year 73, 74. So it's more than, it's about 50 years, and it's working absolutely fine. But for skill education, we don't differentiate between the hours which are spent on theory or practical or experiential learning. And this is the trend now across the globe. So therefore, for skill education or even for school education, we take 30 hours per credit as the average norm. And of course, to earn credit, assessment is a mandatory criteria. And when we talk about the learning and the learning outcomes, these are extremely important. And these can be fitted into various verticals of knowledge, skills, professional learning, aptitude. And these can be given through theory, practical assignments, projects, internship, tutorial, apprenticeship, etc., etc. And NCrF creditizes all kinds of learning, whatever you can think of. Only thing is that all this kind of learning you'll have to put in as part of the curriculum. You have to design your curriculum to clearly select the way you want to put in these learning hours, whether in the classroom or as a project or as a field visit or for online work or for internship or apprenticeship or even assignments and assessments, examinations, sports and games, or the social work. It's for you to say that how many credits he must learn from which kind of learning, so as to give him a particular diploma or degree, so as to redeem those credits in the form of a certificate, diploma, or degree. That is the curriculum design. So you have to design it. All these are the possibilities which you have before you. And it is for you to decide as to what mix of the learning you want to keep in that curriculum. All of you are also aware of this. NCrF has one single meta framework, and there are different assessment bands you can see in different colors. Starts with 5 years of foundational education, 3 years of preparatory education, 3 years of middle education, and thereafter 2 years secondary, 2 years senior secondary, 3 or 4 years of UG, and then 2 years of PG. And if you see in red, that is the National Credit Framework NCrF level. For 8th class, it is 1. For 5th class, it is 1. For 8th class, it is 2. And thereafter, it goes up by 0.5 every year. That is how it has been designed. And for UG, for the higher education, there are courses from level 4.5 up to level 8. And these courses can have mix of both the academic education and the skill education, and also the experiential learning in the form of, say, internship or apprenticeship. All that is possible. And there are certain learning outcomes which have been defined by UGC in their NCrF, and these outcomes have been aligned with the international best practices. Similarly, if I talk about the National Skill Qualification Framework, it starts from level 1 and goes up to level 8. From level 1 to level 4, it feeds the school education system. And from 4.5 to level 8, it can be integrated with the higher education system. Similarly, from level 3.5 to level 4.5 or even 5.5, this can integrate into diploma and advanced diploma institutions. So this can be the NSQF aligned qualifications can be integrated at all levels. Now, as one of you rightly expressed, that we have to have some kind of the credits, the level descriptors, and the outcome defined for achieving a particular NCrF level and for creditization of learning. Now, when I talk about NSQF, we have learning in 5 dimensions. One is the theoretical learning. Second is the practical learning or the technical skills which you have. Third is basically the soft skills, the employment readiness, the mindset, the aptitude, all those soft components, they come as part of the third vertical. Fourth vertical is broad learning outcomes. And fifth is the level of responsibility which you have been designed to share in the ecosystem. So on these 5 columns, you can have level descriptors. And these level descriptors then go on to decide whether you achieve a particular level or not. That is how it is. And these have also been aligned with the international best practices, and they go hand in hand with the higher education ecosystem. Therefore, when you decide the number of credits for a course, you have to look at the number of hours, and not only the number of hours, you have to look at the outcome based on these level descriptors. And it's very important to understand these level descriptors. I think we need one session of about 2 hours just to understand these level descriptors and how you actually measure whether these levels have been achieved by the learner or not. That itself is a very interesting subject. Now, this is the crux of the matter, how we creditize all learnings. So every learning hour and all types of learning can be creditized, subject to the following. Firstly, you clearly prescribe the learning outcomes with predefined NCrF credit levels, which such learning is going to achieve as per NCrF. And this can be done by the respective regulators or the autonomous institution which is designing the syllabus. So you have to say that this is the course which I'm going to conduct. This is a 30-hour course. These are the learning outcomes. This course is going to be at level 4.5. And this is how I'm going to carry out the assessment for this particular course. At the end of the course, I'll see whether the outcomes have been achieved or not. So this has to be notified before starting the course. Secondly, you carry out the assessment against the prescribed learning outcomes by using the methodology which you had prescribed. And based on that, then you say that, all right, now the student or the learner has achieved these outcomes, and therefore he deserves the credits to be given which were specified for this particular course. And this can be done by the regulator or the autonomous institutions concerned. And this can have all components of academics, skill, experiential learning, apprenticeship, OJT, and what mix is to be followed for a particular program, that is to be decided by you. You decide as to what mix is to be followed. That is your design of the program. That is for you to decide. Similarly, there are special provisions for gifted learners, like we hold hackathons and Olympiads. That means we recognize absolutely the gifted students. And we give them something advanced. Suppose a hackathon is being conducted and it's open for any student who is in third year of, say, engineering. And they are given a problem, they are given the desired outcome. They solve that problem and achieve that desired outcome. And companies, they hire those students directly just on the basis of the results of the hackathon. So hackathon is also a kind of recognition of prior learning against your desired outcomes. And so is Olympiads. So in Olympiads, for a particular subject, you test the proficiency of the student for a higher level. That is what you are doing. Also, the recognition of prior learning. Somebody has learned a skill outside the formal education and wants that skill to be assessed against a particular qualification which prescribe the learning outcomes and the level, and he comes out okay on that particular assessment, well, he can be creditized. And that is what we follow in skill education. And now, thankfully, the higher education ecosystem, including AICT, has also agreed to follow. And they are now creating the RPL guidelines. Also, though, there is a scope for creditization of all national and international achievers, whether in games and sports or in performing arts or in heritage or traditional skills or Indian knowledge system, social work, etc., etc. And detailed guidelines on each one of these, they are being taken out. Right now, there's a high-level committee which is co-chaired by Chairman UGC and myself. And we have 3 subcommittees working under this. And these 3 subcommittees, one on the higher education, other on the school education, third on the skill education. All 3 committees have come up with their SOPs. They have made a presentation before the higher level committee, and now they're in the process of finalizing the draft report, which will be shared with you all for your comments. And then we'll go ahead with it. Now, all of you very well understand NCrF, so I'm going to skip these examples of academic equivalence. Only I'll give you 2 examples on school education 12th equivalent. Somebody wants this, so either he should go for 12th grade regular school or through an IOS. Secondly, he could be 10th class pass, plus he should go for 2-year ITI after 10th class with a small language module. Even then he can be given 12th equivalent certificate. Thirdly, if his 10th grade pass, plus he's completed 2 years of 3-year diploma, even then he can be given 12th class certificate. Also, if his 10th grade pass and he goes for 40 credits at NCrF level 3.5, small courses totaling to 40 credits at level 3.5 and 40 credits at level 4, plus a small language course, he can achieve the 12th grade. So there are various ways through which you can do it. Similarly, somebody wants to achieve UG first year, so either 12th pass with 40 credits from UGC and AICT, uh, both NHQF level courses, he can get it. Similarly, his 12th pass, he gets 20 credits from UGC and 20 credits from NSQF courses, whether short term or long term. He can get into UG second year. Similarly, 10th class pass, completes 3 years of diploma after 10th. He can go to UG second year directly, which is the lateral entry admission. And somebody who is regularly doing his UG first year can also go. Now, when I talk about how the knitters could achieve the implementation of NCrF, first and the foremost is revising the curriculum which you have for all your short-term courses as well as for your long-term courses, and make this curriculum based on the outcome of learning, and not just the subject curriculum. That will have to be done. And in doing that, I think that is one of your biggest consultancy work which you will have for next 5 to 7 years. You'll have to align all other institutions as to how to design these programs, how to go for designing flexible curricular structures so that you also integrate vocational education and training into it. You also integrate skilling, internship, on the job training, project work, everything into it. That will have to be done. And modularizing the course curriculum with the provisions of multiple entry and multiple exit. That will have to be thought about. Then, how do you design a program? Which part of it could be online, which could be offline, which could be in the blended mode, or which could be through a MOOCs course like Swayam, or from any other platform. For example, now some of the universities are allowing courses from other online platforms like Coursera. Can we do it? If yes, how can we do it? Then engaging industry experts with relevant experience as trainers and instructors. And this is especially true for the skill programs. Though UGC has come up with the norms, professor of practice has been allowed, but still you need very large number of instructors, and these instructors are very senior people. One instructor, say in Python or in AI, could be getting a salary of 3 lakhs a month in the industry, and still he has interest and he wants to come and teach for an hour. Now you cannot get this instructor in the open market at all. So we have no option but to rely on the industry for this kind of learning activities. I'm going to share this. This is the most important table, I would say, which we have jointly worked out. I sat with Chairman UGC, Chairman AICT, and Chairman NAC, and 3 ministries: Ministry of Higher Education, School Education, and Skill Education. And together we have worked on this table. So there are conventional universities, there are universities with vocational education, or you call them skill universities. So overall regulation is going to be with UGC. They can run, conventional universities can run multidisciplinary programs. Skill university should primarily run skill programs. The percentage of skill-based programs, conventional universities can have any number of them, whereas for skill universities, minimum 50% of their program should be skill-based. The percentage of skill-based courses in a program, no, for any conventional university, it could be 25% interdisciplinary or 50% skill component in program, up to 50%. As far as skill universities are concerned, they could have 70% of skilling components in a program. The minimum admission level is 10 plus 2. Here it is 10th. That means after 10th, 10 plus 2 years is ITI, ITI plus 2 years is diploma. Diploma for 1 year is UG degree, and diploma for 2 years is a UG degree with honors. Whereas conventional universities, you understand UG certificate, UG diploma, UG degree, and UG degree with honors. And the NCRF level applicable for conventional universities, it is 4.5 and above. And for skilled universities, it is level 3.5 onwards. So why I am just emphasizing on these skilled universities, because ultimately knitters will be deemed university status, and knitters would have this skilled university status as well, because knitters are dealing with all programs which are level 3.5 and above. So therefore, it is very important for you to take advantage of this table. And the level of skilling courses you could design either as per UGC guideline or as per AICT guidelines or as per NCVT guidelines. You could design these courses. And staffing norms and the RPL, again, it goes whether you pick up the NHQF aligned qualification or NSQF aligned qualification. So the provisions, the guidelines of that particular regulator would apply. And there is a provision of taking into account or creditizing internship, on-the-job training, apprenticeship, work and apprenticeship embedded programs. All this is allowed and all this is accepted under the NCrF. This has been agreed with Chairman UGC and Chairman AICT. And we have already taken out the RPL guidelines, whereas the university and the AICT, they are trying to do that. The UGC, the AICT had just taken out the apprenticeship guidelines. They are still under discussion and going to be finalized very soon. Similarly, for NAC ranking also, we are going to have slightly different norms for the skilled universities or the universities like knitters when they become deemed universities. And the nomenclature, aspirational nomenclature is also going to be standardized both for the conventional universities and the skilled universities. So just an example to share that this is a typical course under FY UGP guidelines, so which is a 3-year UG or a 4-year UG. You have a major core, then you have minor stream, you have multidisciplinary courses, you have ability enhancement courses, skill enhancement courses, value-added courses, summer internship. So out of the major or the minor, up to 50% of the credits could be taken from the skill-based courses. And the skill-based courses could be either the National Higher Education Qualification Framework courses or the National Skill Education Qualification Framework. Similarly, the skill enhancement courses could be the employability, soft skills, or life skill courses. So that is how the program has been designed. Now coming back to knitter. Now in knitter, you have 30 hours of training, 30 hours of training or skilling programs would be 1 credit. Now how you divide it is up to you. Whether you call it 1 hour of 15 hours of theory as 1 credit and 30 hours of practical as 1 credit, or 45 hours of experiential learning as 1 credit, that is up to you. That may even differ from program to program. But then 1 semester is 20 credits, and on an average, it is 30 hours of per credit. Similarly, 3 months of internship or project with clear outcomes and assessment is equivalent to 10 credits. 6 months would be 20 credits, 1 year could be 40 credits. And if somebody has gone for work experience outside, 1.5 years of experiential learning with clear learning outcomes and assessment could be equivalent to 40 credits. So this is again up to you as to how you elaborate this, how you design this. But definitely you are fitting into the NCrF very well. You are already fitting into NCrF very well. And it's not a big deal to creditize all your programs. Here I'm just sharing with you 1 slide, which is part of the SOP, which has been presented to the high level committee, wherein you can have learning outcomes defined, but also just indicative way of assessing the number of credits which you assign to a particular learning outcome. So lectures plus practicals plus on-the-job training divided by 30. And if there is an internship, then internship in number of months or apprenticeship in number of months divided by 40, divided by 12, multiplied by 40. That is how you assess the total number of credits. All this is subject to the achievement of the learning outcomes, the desired learning outcomes, and the level descriptors which I explained in the previous slides. Now, if you are not achieving those levels, simply this mathematical formula is not going to work. This is only an indicative formula. So you'll have to really work on that. And I've already explained the 50%, up to 50% credits can be from NCrF aligned skill programs or NSQF aligned programs. Similarly, for skill universities, this ratio could be 60 to 70%. And this I've already explained. All your programs can easily be creditized because you are already following this very standard method of doing it. And all you need to do is to design the curriculum in such a manner so that you creditize every session and every learning, including your case studies, your group tasks, your practical hands-on learning, your field visits to the industry, your assignments, your project work, your internship with the industry. All that is creditized. Now, NCVT on its part will really help you. We have worked on national credit framework. We are part and parcel of that entire thing. Then we also have the national skill qualification framework. This NSQF framework, we work jointly with AICT and UGC, and all our national skill qualification committees. They have membership from UGC and AICT. So it's a joint approval of all three bodies when we approve any program. They are part and parcel of the entire ecosystem, skilling ecosystem. Similarly, now emerging and future skills, we already have more than 380 programs now. Last NSQC, we have approved more than 50 programs. And these are available in 50 plus sectors. We also have cross-sectoral and multi-sectoral skilling guidelines. These are available on our website. We have blended learning guidelines. We also have guidelines for nurses and micro-credentialing. If you want to skill somebody just for 15 hours, it could be called upskilling and this could be micro-credential. This can be creditized. 7.5 घंटे भी creditize हो सकता है. Similarly, employability skills. Now, we have all kinds of employability skills. Recently, we have identified about 150 micro skill components, employability skill components, including soft skills and life skills. And we have divided these into 8 verticals, and we are working on these. Also, we are working on the international mobility. NCVT as a body, we grant recognition for becoming an awarding body, assessment agency, or training bodies through the ABs, or skilled universities when they follow the NHQF guidelines, NSQF guidelines. Similarly, we create awarding bodies, we recognize awarding bodies, we recognize assessment agencies, and skill information providers. And once someone is the recognized awarding body of NCVT, you can design your own courses, you can get these courses approved by NSQC, you can adopt already available NSQF courses, which are about 6,000 courses in the ecosystem. You can just adopt these courses, run these courses in your ecosystem. You can change these courses, customize these courses up to 20%, depending upon your local needs. And if you're a dual awarding body, you can even assess the wherein you can design your courses for NSQ alignment, NCrF compliant. You can run these courses not even for your own students, for your own ecosystem, but even for the students outside your ecosystem. You can design and you can run these courses within knitters, in collaboration with these techniques. You can run these courses, and you can issue credits to them. You can creditize these courses, and these credits would be acceptable to the entire UGC and AIC ecosystem, the entire national ecosystem. These credits will be valid. You can do that. So blended learning, no, as I said, that we have very detailed guidelines. I'm not going to go into details. We have in blended learning guidelines proper mix of theory, soft skills, demonstrations, practical hands-on work, then tutorials, assignments, assessment, examination, and apprenticeship, internship, and on-the-job training. So this is available. Similarly, we have detailed guidelines on recognition of prior learning. Now here I would like to make the knitters a hub for recognizing prior learning at higher levels, because I need institutions like knitter which are credible, which have the capacity to do it, and this will really help the entire ecosystem and the industry if you are able to do it. Because I don't have much faith in some of the other assessment agencies that they have capacity to do it, especially for all NSQF level skills which are higher than level 4.5, 4.5 and above. There is also a provision to recognize the courses being conducted by all multinational companies, including the original equipment manufacturers, original design manufacturers, and value-added resellers. These guidelines have also been put in public consultation. We are in the process of finalizing this. So through this, you can recognize the courses conducted by, say, Microsoft or IBM or Oracle or SAP, whichever course students wants to go in for. These can become part and parcel of their regular degree programs. So this is a very, very big facility which we have given, and these credits will go into the academic bank of credits and can be creditized. Similarly, assessment-wise, now we have various kinds of assessments. Normally, we are not following these assessments by in most of the institutions. They are not doing that. But in NCVT, we have already gone in for new kinds of assessments: diagnostic, formative, summative, ipsative, non-referenced, criteria referenced, peer-to-peer randomized assessments, then industry validation uh, assessments, then self-assessments, and there are a number of other ways of rubrics, all that, curriculum mapping, structured interviews, student experience surveys, and all that. So all that is part in an SQF ecosystem. We have more than 7,000 qualifications now, out of which 4,570 qualifications are alive as of today. And these qualifications are available right from level 1 to level 8. But level 3.5, 4, you can see the number of qualifications available are enough for anybody to pick up qualifications from here and run these qualifications in the ecosystem. Similarly, the contemporary skills, the new age skills, and the future skills, we are working on these. And these qualifications are also available. They are NSQF aligned qualifications available. And these could be part and parcel of every course for teachers. It's very, very important. Right from digital fluency, communication, problem solving, customer service, sales marketing. Similarly, UI, UX, design thinking, emotional intelligence, all that. And then you have future skills. And if I just put it simply, I was trying to find out at what kind of skills the industry is looking for today. So transdisciplinarity, novel and adaptive thinking, design thinking, computational thinking, new media literacy, cognitive load management, virtual collaboration, cross-cultural competency, social intelligence, sense making. So all this is part and parcel of the skill bouquet, the employability skill bouquet, which we are trying to prepare. Now, just one example, say for example, in digital skills alone, we have basic digital literacy, then you have universal digital proficiency, you have tech fluent practitioners, and you have digital pioneers. These are different levels level up to 3 and level 3 to 3.5 and 4.5 to 5.5 and above. And the kind of courses which could be offered, you can very well see. Also, I was talking about the future skills. So there are 10 technology skills which can cross with the other sectors. So artificial intelligence, big data analytics, cloud computing, Internet of Things, blockchain, cyber security, social media, robotic process automation, AR, VR, and 3D printing. You can cross them with healthcare, with manufacturing, with automobile, with finance, with education, with construction, environment, and you get the new kind of skills which the world requires today, and that is what we are doing. So I would like to stop here. Thank you so much. I am open to questions, and I see a lot of potential with the knitters, and I'm ready to give you the status of the dual awarding bodies till the time you get the status of the deemed university. Once you are into deemed university status, you will be able to uh, sort of get the dual recognition from NCVT automatically. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your guidance and giving the detail about NCRF. So just I want to ask that all the faculty members, it is open, that if you want to ask any questions to Kalsi sir, so we can just go.
Can we get a copy of his presentation?
Sure.
Sir, we want the presentation. Yeah.
Definitely, you will get a copy of the presentation, and you will
Yes,
get much more material.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Any questions? Because actually, just to inform you, we have kept 2 sessions after this inauguration. One on detailed, again, discussion on NCRF about our knitter faculty only, and also about NHEQF. But still, I want to ask that some of our faculty members here wants to ask you some question. Yes, Duggal.
Sir, you had shown at various slides, the scales 1 to 8 with, half point variation. And you have also suggested along with the qualification and experience or courses. Now, my question is whether these are suggestive or mandatory or what kind of approach it is. Because if it
See,
is
that is mandatory. This is the NCRF framework. फ्रेमवर्क क्या होता है? फ्रेमवर्क एक तरह से लोहे का ढांचा है. उसमें जो फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी मैंने आपको बता दी, आप कोर्स का स्ट्रक्चर खुद डिजाइन कर सकते हैं. उसमें आपने क्या क्या लेना है, क्या क्रेडिटाइज करना है, कितने घंटे किसके डालने हैं, वो आपके ऊपर है.
Very right.
लेकिन जो ढांचा है वो कॉमन है.
Namaskar, sir. May I ask?
Please.
Yeah, I'm BL Gupta from Bhopal. Sir, in the National Credit Framework, competency word is used. In some other documents, outcomes are used. And what people are doing, they are simply converting the content into outcomes. So just like we'll understand this thing or we'll appreciate the importance of this or like that. So
तो ये
again,
बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट आपने उठाया है.
जी.
इसमें कॉम्पिटेंसी को समझने की जरूरत है. वो लेवल डिस्क्रिप्टर्स हैं जिनको समझने की जरूरत है. तो मैं क्या करूंगा, कर्नल गुंजन अभी जुड़े हुए हैं आपके साथ. कर्नल गुंजन, प्लीज इमीडिएटली शेयर विद देम द लेवल डिस्क्रिप्टर्स एंड द NSQF डिटेल्स. ठीक है? ये आप इमीडिएटली शेयर कर लीजिए इनके साथ और शेयर करके ये आप सबको दे दीजिए.
यस.
इतना आसान काम नहीं है. लेवल डिस्क्रिप्टर से करिकुलम डिजाइन करना इतना आसान काम नहीं है कि सिंपली इसको आउटकम में लिख दिया कि इसके ये सीखने से ये हो जाएगा. उसके साथ उसकी लेवल ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग भी है. जब आप वो देखेंगे तो आप खुद को पहले उस पर असेस करें कि हम लोगों का लेवल क्या है. जैसे मैंने सबसे पहले जब उस फ्रेमवर्क को बनाया, देखा, तो पहले खुद को, अपने पूरे स्टाफ को उसके ऊपर असेस किया और फिर धीरे धीरे रियलाइजेशन हुई कि ये कोई इतना आसान काम नहीं है. इसको करने के लिए समझ बहुत बढ़ानी पड़ेगी, बहुत डिटेल में जाना पड़ेगा. जी, आप ठीक कह रहे हैं.
तो मेरा सबमिशन ये था सर कि हमारे पास 1000 यूनिवर्सिटीज है, बहुत सारे टेक्निकल यूनिवर्सिटीज है, तो कहीं ना कहीं ये कॉमन अंडरस्टैंडिंग नेशनल लेवल पर पूरे सिस्टम में बनाने की जरूरत है। नहीं तो व्हाट पीपल विल डू, दे विल सिंपली हैव कंटेंट एंड दे विल क्लेम दैट दे आर हैविंग आउटकम बेस्ड और कॉम्पिटेंसी बेस्ड। दैट इज माय सबमिशन, दैट इज वन पॉइंट।
आप ठीक कह रहे हैं, लेकिन अभी ये ऑलरेडी डॉक्यूमेंट नोटिफाइड है।
सर
जो NHEQF के भी इस पार्ट में है, NSQF के पार्ट में भी ये लेवल जो है दिए गए हैं, ये डिस्क्रिप्शन जो है ये ऑलरेडी नोटिफाइड है। तो अभी
बट
लोगों की समझ में थोड़ा सा फर्क आएगा, 1 साल 2 साल चलेगा ऐसा, लेकिन
जी,
फिर जब अच्छे कोर्सेज अगर नेटर निकाल कर लाएगा तो लोग नेटर की नकल मारेंगे।
बराबर
नेटर को लीड करना है देश को, आप
सर।
ये समझ लीजिए।
सर दूसरा जो मेरा सबमिशन था कि डिजाइनिंग द प्रोग्राम यूजिंग द नेशनल क्रेडिट फ्रेमवर्क, अगेन
जी।
इट इज आर्ट एंड साइंस, just to
बिल्कुल।
satisfy the requirements of the students and the employer or society। तो इसके ऊपर भी नेशनल लेवल पर कहीं ना कहीं एजुकेशन लेवल तक जाने की जरूरत है, नहीं तो लोग फिर से जो है वो इसका मिसयूज कर सकते हैं।
इसीलिए नेटर को चुना है, ये लीडरशिप नेटर देगा। ये
थैंक यू
चारों
सर।
डायरेक्टर साहबान से मेरी रिक्वेस्ट है कि चारों डायरेक्टर साहबान इसकी लीडरशिप दें, और ये मैं करने वाला हूं कि आप लोगों को इसका कार्यभार जो है
सर
कैसे किया जाए, इसको कैसे इम्प्लीमेंट किया जाए, ये जब तक आप नहीं गाइड करेंगे हो नहीं पाएगा।
और तीसरा एक और इशू जो मैं फेस करता हूं सर, वो है पॉलिटेक्निक। Only
जी।
polytechnic is bypassing the 12th. Rest of the programs of the school education system, they are taking the student up to 12th and then they go for the higher education. तो इस पॉलिटेक्निक सिस्टम को भी कहीं ना कहीं अगर ग्रेजुएट लेवल पर लाकर के फिट कर देंगे तो
अगर आपने ध्यान से देखा हो तो आपको मैंने बताया था कि अगर पॉलिटेक्निक को बच्चा कर रहा है तो फर्स्ट ईयर के बाद 11वीं का सर्टिफिकेट और सेकंड ईयर के बाद 12वीं का सर्टिफिकेट साथ मिले उसको। अगर वो सेकंड ईयर के बाद छोड़ना चाहता छोड़ पाए, उस ऐसा प्रावधान भी NCrF में किया गया है।
जी सर, नहीं मेरा सबमिशन ये था कि 12th हर जगह हम 12th के बाद हायर एजुकेशन की बात कर रहे हैं, सिर्फ पॉलिटेक्निक ही ऐसा है जो बाईपास कर रहा है 12th को। तो व्हाई द पॉलिटेक्निक शुड नॉट बी मर्ज्ड विद द इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज एंड व्हाई द डिप्लोमा प्रोग्राम शुड नॉट स्टार्ट एट मींस आफ्टर 12th। दैट इज माय सबमिशन।
देखिए दोनों तरह के डिप्लोमे हैं। NCVT अलाउज द डिप्लोमा प्रोग्राम इवन आफ्टर 12th।
जी,
ये आपके ऊपर है, आप डिप्लोमा प्रोग्राम डिजाइन करके लाएं, देखते हैं बाजार में उसकी क्या रिस्पॉन्स है। मना तो नहीं किया किसी ने आपको।
जी जी,
आप लाइए। 12th के बाद बहुत सारे डिप्लोमे हैं
जी,
और जितने नॉन AICTE डिप्लोमे हैं वो सारे मोस्टली 12th के बाद है।
यस सर, यस सर।
जी।
तो ये मल्टीडिसिप्लिनरी बन नहीं पाएगा पॉलिटेक्निक अगर इसको 12th के बाद नहीं ले जाए।
मैंने कहा आप करिए ना, आपको मना थोड़ी है।
ओके,
आप करिए।
जी सर, जी सर।
जैसे देवी प्रसाद जी बार बार कह रहे हैं कि बात मत करिए, काम करिए। देवी प्रसाद जी से भी मैं यही कहूंगा, देवी प्रसाद जी बात बहुत हो गई, अब अपना जिम्मा लीजिए, बताइए क्या करेंगे और उसकी डिलीवरी दीजिए।
थैंक यू
चलिए
सो
आगे।
मच, नमस्कार, थैंक यू
सर मैं एक क्वेश्चन पूछना चाह रहा हूँ कलसी सर। नॉर्मली डिप्लोमा प्रोग्राम और इंजीनियरिंग प्रोग्राम में while framing the curriculum, how much emphasis should we give to the competency? Should we consider this as a competency based outcome based curriculum or should we only keep outcome based curriculum?
जी जी जी, ऐसा नहीं है। कॉम्पिटेंसी और आउटकम दोनों हैंड इन हैंड जाएगी। बिना कॉम्पिटेंसी के आउटकम नहीं आएगी, बिना आउटकम के कॉम्पिटेंसी नहीं आएगी
जी।
क्योंकि जो आउटकम है वो कॉम्पिटेंसी को मेजर करने का तरीका है
जी।
तो एक दूसरे के बिना कोई भी नहीं जाएगा। जो उसमें जो मेन गुत्थी है वो ये समझने की है कि कॉम्पिटेंसी और आउटकम को कैसे एक दूसरे के साथ जोड़ के देखा जाए। और उसके ऊपर इसलिए मैंने कहा कि एक वर्कशॉप होनी आपकी बहुत ज़रूरी है, एक कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग बहुत ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि जब तक वो नहीं करेंगे हम, तब तक हम इसको इम्प्लीमेंट कर पाना बहुत मुश्किल होगा और लोग सिर्फ कागज़ के ऊपर कुछ आउटकम लिख देंगे और कहेंगे NCrF अलाइन हो गया। वो ठीक बात है।
या थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
नमस्कार सर, मैं यास्क।
हाँ जी प्लीज।
हाँ, उमा शंकर साहू फ्रॉम नेटर चेन्नई। सर
जी।
आपने बीच में बात की थी कि इंटरनेशनलाइजेशन, जब हमें क्रेडिट स्टूडेंट्स को अवार्ड करेंगे तो इंटरनेशनली रिकॉग्निशन कैसे होगा उसका?
उसका इंटरनेशनल रिकग्निशन इस ढंग से होगा कि जो आउटकम हमने लिए हैं उसके साथ लेवल डिस्क्रिप्टर्स लिए हैं, ये लेवल डिस्क्रिप्टर्स इंटरनेशनल लेवल से उठाए हैं, ये उनके साथ अलाइन है। तो जब हमारे साथ बैठेंगे कि आपके इस बच्चे की कॉम्पिटेंस का क्या लेवल है, तो उनको हम लेवल डिस्क्रिप्टर के हिसाब से समझाएंगे कि इसका लेवल ये है और इसको हमने इस ढंग से टेस्ट किया है आपके लिए। तो हमारी असेसमेंट मेथोडोलॉजी में भी वो झलकेगा, हमारे कोर्स डिज़ाइन में भी वो झलकेगा, और अगर वो चाहेंगे तो वो अपनी असेसमेंट एजेंसी के द्वारा उसको टेस्ट भी कर सकते हैं इन फ्यू टेस्ट केसेस, जिसमें वो इस्टेब्लिश कर पाएंगे कि हाँ इसके पास वो कॉम्पिटेंसी और लेवल डिस्क्रिप्टर्स के हिसाब से वो इसके पास आउटकम है कि नहीं है।
या तो हमें अब बताना पड़ेगा कि वाशिंगटन अकॉर्डेंस में हम आउटकम बेस्ड एजुकेशन उसके अलाइन करें, नहीं तो इसको इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे लाके
ये इंटरनेशनल लेवल से अलाइंड है। आप अब वाशिंगटन, सिडनी, डबलिन ये सब छोड़ दीजिए, ये ठीक है अपनी जगह है।
Sir, may I ask one question?
जी
Yeah, I am Shubroto Rai from NCrF Bhopal, sir.
जी
In fact, जब हम सर बात करते हैं लेवल डिस्क्रिप्टर्स की, लर्निंग आउटकम्स की, या in terms of graduate attributes also we can call it. उसमें there are mainly two categories. One is learning outcomes that are specific to disciplinary, multi or interdisciplinary areas of learning, and other may be generic learning outcomes, generic learning outcomes.
राइट।
जी, जब हम लर्निंग आउटकम्स डिसिप्लिनरी और इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी की बात करते हो, आई थिंक 30 आवर्स फॉर 1 क्रेडिट और 1200 आवर्स फॉर 1 ईयर 40 क्रेडिट्स, इट गोज वेल। बट जब हम असेसमेंट की बात करते हैं जेनेरिक स्किल्स की, लर्निंग आउटकम्स की, तो सर ये आवर्स कहीं ना कहीं हमको लगता है कि शायद सोचने की जरूरत होगी कि वेदर सेम थिंग कैन बी फॉलोड उन दोज व्हाइल आई मीन असेसिंग लर्निंग आउटकम्स इन जेनेरिक स्किल्स।
मैंने आपसे विनती की थी कि आप ये घंटों के चक्कर में बहुत ज्यादा न फंसे, वो एक गाइडलाइन है।
ओके ओके ओके,
घंटे हैं वो एक गाइडलाइन है, लेकिन आपको जब लर्निंग आउटकम निकालनी पड़ेगी कॉम्पिटेंसी के बेसिस पर, निकालनी इन घंटों में से है। आपके पास एक साल में 1200 घंटे से ज्यादा नहीं है, करना आपको उसी के बीच में है, लेकिन आपको साथ में उसको भी करना पड़ेगा। यही तो उसमें कला है बेसिकली। ये खाली साइंस नहीं है, ये आर्ट्स भी है साथ में।
या आर्ट एंड साइंस दोनों ही है,
दोनों ही।
या okay sir, thank you sir, thank you sir.
Can I ask one question now? I'm Dr. Tiger from NIRRR Bhopal.
जी
Yeah, sir, I have studied the curriculum developed by various boards in the country, particularly for diploma level, as well as I have seen the curriculum of developed by various NITs, 31 NITs. I had done a very critical study. And what I find that the variation in the curriculum in terms of the content or in terms of the credits, in terms of the hours allotted, around 20 to 25% variations are there across the country. Now, my thing that whether NCrF and the people like you thinking about a one country, one curriculum, or a one particular qualification based one country, one curriculum, are you thinking in that
ऐसा है,
direction?
I understood your question. ऐसा है कि if you look at NHEQF and NSQF, there is a flexibility allowed in every curriculum.
Yeah.
No, there cannot be just one single curriculum for the entire country. Otherwise, innovation कहाँ जाएगी? Innovation तो खत्म हो जाएगी.
Yeah.
एक इंस्टीट्यूशन है वो ज़्यादा पढ़ाना चाहता है, एक इंस्टीट्यूशन जस्ट सफिशिएंट पढ़ाना चाहता है कि उसके पास बहुत अच्छे टीचर्स नहीं है, पूरे टीचर्स नहीं है, वो ऑलरेडी जूझ रहा है अपने समस्याओं के साथ। तो दोनों को मैं अलाउ करूंगा। तो इसलिए अप टू 20% वेरिएशन तो वैसे भी अलाउड है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। और आपने ये जो स्टडी की है, मैं आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि आप इस स्टडी को शेयर करें मेरे साथ।
yes.
और मैं इसको एक बार चेयरमैन यूजीसी और चेयरमैन एआईसीटी के साथ बैठ करके इसके ऊपर विचार करता हूँ। हाँ, इसमें इतना जरूर होगा कि इसमें मुझे अगर लेवल डिस्क्रिप्टर्स और लर्निंग आउटकम्स देखनी है तो उसमें से कुछ मैंडेटरी पार्ट होगा जो सब में आना लाजमी है,
Yeah.
जरूरी है,
Yeah.
बट उसमें कुछ ऐसा पार्ट होगा जो एक लोकल इंस्टीट्यूशन के हिसाब से बदला जा सकेगा,
Yes. 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 Yes.
उसकी लोकल रिक्वायरमेंट के हिसाब से। तो उसमें 20% तक वेरिएशन हो सकता है, लेकिन मैंडेटरी कोर्सेज उसमें डेफिनेटली होने चाहिए, वो नहीं मिस आउट होने चाहिए। जी,
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'll share some of the information definitely.
जी।
Yeah.
Sir, namaskar. Myself, Dr. Anju Role from NCrF Bhopal. Sir, can I ask one question?
श्योर।
Yes, sir. Sir, at NCrF Bhopal, we are coordinating 3 projects, 2 for diploma program and 1 for UG engineering program. So, as we are talking in NEP, we are talking about multidisciplinary and holistic education. So we have studied the NCrF and NEP documents, and we are trying to implement the credit and multidisciplinary aspects. Many things we are trying to implement. So, sir, as we are talking means like any institution, they ask for development of the curriculum in different specific discipline like aeronautical, mechanical, or something. But we are talking about multidisciplinary education. So we definitely the different concepts we are trying to include, and we are means based on the open electives and many other generic soft skill courses and employability skills courses and generic skills. We are trying to make them multidisciplinary, but still means they can like Python program, 3D printing, and artificial intelligence, drone technology. Like these type of interdisciplinary courses we are trying to add in the program structure, but still we are calling it as a diploma program or engineering program in mechanical engineering or a specific aeronautical engineering.
अंजू जी, ऐसा है कि
जी
अभी
सर।
अभी मैं समझ गया आपका सवाल, मैं समझ गया। ऐसा है कि इसमें एक कोर सब्जेक्ट है, एक मेजर है, एक माइनर है।
जी सर।
तो एक तो हम ये कर सकते हैं कि हमने मेजर मैकेनिकल में दे दिया, 60% क्रेडिट उसके दे दिए, मेजर के दे दिए, 40% में मैं सब कुछ भर दिया।
जी सर।
दूसरा है कि 40% में मैं खिचड़ी पका दूं सारी, और ये भी कह सकता हूं उसको कि भी एक माइनर ले लो। माइनर में किसी ने साइकोलॉजी ले ली, किसी ने हिस्ट्री ले ली, किसी ने इकोनॉमिक्स ले ली, किसी ने कंप्यूटर साइंस के सब्जेक्ट्स ले लिए, वो उसके ऊपर है। लेकिन साथ में आप ये भी कर सकते हो कि अगर 60 जो है उसके कोर सब्जेक्ट्स हो गए, 40 अगर उसके इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी सब्जेक्ट्स हैं, उसमें कहो कि 20 जो है उसको एक पर्टिकुलर एरिया में लेने जरूरी है, उसके जो मर्जी तो ले ले, 20 में जो मर्जी करे। अगर मैं 40% में पूरी खिचड़ी पका दूंगा तो वो ठीक है, वो बच्चे के अपने पसंद की चीज हो जाएगी कि वो जैसे जहां से जो उसने उठा के सीख लेगा। लेकिन क्या उसकी मार्केट में यूजेबिलिटी बन पाएगी, ये आपको साथ में देखना पड़ेगा। तो आप देख लीजिए कि आप उसमें जो इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी सब्जेक्ट अलाउ कर रही हैं, उसमें आप किस किस्म का मिक्स अलाउ करना चाहती हैं, ये भी आपके ऊपर है। इसके ऊपर एनसीआरएफ जो है वो कुछ नहीं कह रहा है। एनसीआरएफ इतना ही कह रहा है कि यू कैन हैव मेजर, यू कैन हैव माइनर। लेकिन इसमें माइनर में इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी आपने कैसे डालना है, इसका फैसला आप करें।
Sir, thank you, sir. Sir, one more question. In NCrF, we have in UGC norms also there is a categorization of the courses like discipline specific core courses and then ability enhancement, skill enhancement, value education courses, as you have also shown in the slide. But in the AICT also we call it as a professional core courses, professional elective courses, professional open electives courses, mandatory courses, and like this. So in the classification which is given as the ability enhancements or discipline specific courses or discipline core courses. So if we call it as a means like discipline specific courses can be skill enhancement courses, and because there's something there are overlapping, so we cannot really exactly categorize whether it is a discipline specific, because all are discipline specific. It can be skill enhancement, it can be ability enhancement.
जी, आप समझ रही है ना ये क्या है, आप समझ रही है ना?
जी सर,
तो
जी
उसके
सर।
हिसाब से आप उसकी भाषा में मत जाइए, उसके सिमेंटिक्स में मत जाइए। You understand very well that what you want to, your skill enhancement है, skill enhancement could be in your own core area, it could be in sub area, it could be in soft skills, it could be in all three. It's up to you. So that has been left to you as to how you want to use those number of credits for what purpose. आप देखिए जिस परिप्रेक्ष्य में आप बच्चों को पढ़ा रही हैं, उन बच्चों को किसकी ज्यादा जरूरत है? क्या उनको सॉफ्ट स्किल्स की ज्यादा जरूरत है, या अगर कोई बच्चे जो बेंगलोर में बैठे हैं उनको टेक्नोलॉजी स्किल की ज्यादा जरूरत होगी, हो सकता है वहां वो टेक्नोलॉजी का पोर्शन ज्यादा ले आए, और जो बच्चे भोपाल में बैठे हैं हो सकता है उनके लिए मैं सॉफ्ट स्किल का पोर्शन ज्यादा लेकर के आऊं। इट ऑल डिपेंड्स कि मुझे लोकल रिक्वायरमेंट मेरी क्या है। वो फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी आपके पास है, अब फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी आपने यूज करनी है।
जी सर, जी सर। Sir, one more question. Sir, when we are preparing the program structure, so that time, because when we do the assessment, then only the credits can be awarded. So sometimes just to have a interest courses or non-credit courses, but definitely for only formative assessment would be there. But I don't want to keep lose the credit, means lose the credit, because otherwise the core courses or open elective courses credit will be reduced. So I was thinking, so I don't put the credit, and then the examination, the learning and everything would be there, but then the creditization will not be possible, isn't it, sir?
जी, ये जो है ये एनसीआरएफ का फ्रेमवर्क है, वो लोहे वाला। तो जो अगर आपने उसको क्रेडिट देने हैं तो असेसमेंट करनी पड़ेगी आपको।
ओके सर,
ठीक है, वो तो करनी पड़ेगी। हाँ, आप ये कर सकती हैं कि इसमें आप क्रेडिट ले लो भाई, ये क्रेडिट आपके डिग्री के टुवर्ड्स काउंट नहीं होंगे, ये आपके ऊपर है।
ओके
आप
सर,
उससे एडिशनल क्रेडिट ले रहे हो, ताकि
that
आपकी
is what
डिग्री
I
की
want.
ओवरऑल मार्कशीट को अफेक्ट नहीं करेंगे।
ओके
ये
सर,
आप कर सकते हो।
जी सर, जी सर। Sir, one more thing, last question. I was talking about the different classification of the courses, like skill enhancement, value education courses, and ability enhancement. There is this one classification. Other classification which is referred by the AICT, that is professional elective courses, professional core courses, professional mandatory courses. So while preparing the program structure, suppose I am preparing one program structure for the engineering program. So which classification should I write on the program structure? Because both are in
वो सबसे ज्यादा आपको सूट करता हो।
Okay sir, okay sir, okay sir, ठीक, okay sir. Thank you so much sir, thank you so much sir, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So again, we will discuss all these questions of all faculty members during our sessions. So, sir, thank you so much. I'm sure that we'll be able to prepare a good proposal. Of course, it is not a 2 days work, but this workshop will be, the initiative to prepare the proposal. Of course, we will need some time, and we have to sit again and again along with other faculty members. So all the participants, now here we end the inauguration of this event. I thank the directors of all NITers for their valuable time, and I thank Dr. Gunjan Chaudhary, Director NCVT, who was continuously communicating with me for this workshop. I also thank from my core of the heart, Dr. N.S. Kalsi, sir, for his valuable time and guidance. I thank all the faculty members of NITers who have joined online and offline. After 5 minutes break, again we will start 2 online sessions by Professor S. Kedar and Professor Subrat Rai. The sessions will be on detailed version of NCrF and NHEQF, and that time all the faculty members are requested to take participation in discussing, in questioning, so that it will help us in compiling those questions and those suggestions in preparing the proposal. Thank you so much, sir. And I thank the Media Engineering Department of our institute, who has taken care of all these online and digital presentations. And of course, after this 2 days workshop, we may call the online meeting of all faculty members tomorrow afternoon, so that if we can prepare some draft proposal within these 2 days, so we will be able to show some draft presentation to all the faculty members. Of course, we will send the proposal to all the directors for giving the suggestions and all. And finally, will be able to prepare the final draft, final proposal, so that we can submit to NCVT for their approval. Thank you so much, sir. Now the inauguration session is over. NITer Bhopal can take over after just 5 minutes break.
Thank you everyone. Thank you.